well marauding did it. He was a New Zealand bred. They never thought he'd do it, but he came out and won the Golden Slipper. There's been very few over the years that have tried, but we've got coming up on Saturday Ruud Awakening representing New Zealand. And I say representing New Zealand, of course, it is representing Albert Bosma and the Grow Racing team. And it's my pleasure to say a very good afternoon from me, but of course it's good morning to you, Albert Bosma.
Yeah, no, I'm still in Auckland, so it's just afternoon. I'm head off to Sydney on the first flight tomorrow.
Well, mate, I often say when I'm selling horses, I'm actually selling dreams. Fair to say, Albert, you must be living the dream at the moment.
Yeah, no, that's fair to say. You know, it's to just get a runner in the slipper is a dream in itself. You know, I think 95 with our Maze K was the last time, so it doesn't happen very often. Sort of happens about as often as those dreams come true.
Yeah, well, listen, Albert, I've got to ask you this. I mean, obviously a syndicate. You've won a lot of money, having won the Karaka Million coming in, but, you know, a big call, 150,000 Australian, I believe, the late fee. Did you get consensus from everybody to do it, or were there any dissenters among the syndicate?
Yeah, no. When we paid the money, when you transfer it over in New Zealand pesos, it's about 189,000. So it's nudging up to sort of a house in Huntly. But look, no, we had 100% of the owners wanting to go ahead. You know, winning the Karaka Million made it a little bit easier because you've already got the money in the bin. You know, she's won $720,000. So it's not like you've got to put your money hand into your pocket and pull out a whole lot more. The money's already there as long as everyone's happy to spend it. So no, 100% of the owners wanted to do it, and you know it is about the money. The money's always important, but it's more about trying to win the race in the sense of history.
All right. Hey, listen, 6 people from Huntly have rung to say they've got a house for sale. You can buy it for less than 189,000. Hey, listen, quickly, she's travelled over well?
Yeah, look, she's perfect. We can't fault her. She's improved since the Diamond Stakes. She galloped with Rodney Quinn in the saddle this morning on a genuine slow track at Roseville, and she galloped very well and she enjoyed the conditions. Craig Williams, he flew up on Monday night to Sydney, and he galloped her on Tuesday morning, and he was wrapped, and he flew back Tuesday afternoon. She is absolutely spot on. Nothing has gone wrong with her preparation, except for the barrier draw. That's the only thing out of our control which hasn't gone right. I can honestly say to you that she has improved since the Diamond. She is better now than she was going into the Diamond Stakes. Yeah,
I mean, this is the key thing, isn't it? The draw. Were you there? I know Stephen Marsh went up and did it, but did you go over for it, or were you sitting back here waiting to hear?
No, I was sitting back here. I was on the phone. It was on speakerphone, and I was listening. She was the 4th name out of the barrel, and the first 3 out had drawn barriers 1, 3, and 6, including the favourite Overreach. So I was thinking all we've got to do is keep going along the lines of what they've done. But Stephen drew the big 18. He said to me, he went up and he said he was always going to pick one of the, because what you do is you go up and you pick up, there's 18 slippers there, and you pick them up and it's got your barrier draw on the bottom. And he said he was always going to go middle left, middle left, middle left, and he got up there and he just decided for some reason to go bottom right and turned it over and he got 18. But he tells me that he did it on purpose. He tells me he knew it was going to rain, and that the outside draws are where you wanted to be. So he tells me that he's actually very clever.
Yeah, look, because obviously you didn't get Cinderella, you got the ugly sister, didn't you?
Yeah, we did. Very much so. Hey, it seems to be, it was funny, I was reading some Aussie press and it said that because she was born in Australia and then and came over to New Zealand to be sold at the yearling sales, and it said Aussie horse returns home for slipper. And after the barrier draw, it said Kiwi draws horror barrier. So they've changed their stripes a little bit in the last few days.
They did it with Farlap, so you're in very good company, my friend. Listen, I've got to say, I would imagine Craig Williams has been probably one of the big influences in determining to go to the Golden Slipper. It was basically on his sort of say that this filly he felt was up to it.
Yeah, he immediately said to us after the Karaka Million, he said she's good enough to compete at the highest level in Australia, and she's good enough now. You can't go into the Golden Slipper with it being an afterthought. And even before the Karaka Million, we laid out a plan which said if we could win the Karaka Million well, and then we could space her races and go into the Diamond and win that well, then we'd be confident going the Slipper. Craig said to us that he felt that she was capable of winning the Slipper, and he felt that of all his rides he'd been offered, and he'd been offered Criterion, who I think is the second or third favourite, that she was the best of all the rides he'd been offered. So he's very confident that she can measure up. He said to us after the barrier draw, don't worry about it, it's now my problem, I'll do my homework, and by the time we get to race day, I'll be ready.
I mean, you say it's his problem, but I mean, are you thinking tactics? Obviously, with the weather, and we'll talk about that briefly. Obviously, we've lost Gosford today. It's raining there. I mean, from that barrier draw, you really got two choices: you go back or forward.
You're right. You're spot on. If you do nothing, you'll get dictated to. You'll end up wide in midfield, and you'll have no chance. So you're right. You've got to either go forward and go hard, and you've got to be, up outside the leader, or get one off at least, or you've got to just drop back and relax. And look, she's a filly that can do either of those things. She's very, very tractable. She'll drop the bit when you ask her to do that. Craig, it doesn't matter what we tell Craig to do. When Craig goes out, he wants to win, and he's going to ride the race to win the race. We've already had a tactical conversation with him, and he said, look, we just have to see what happens in the first 50 metres. If she happens to jump very well, then he said, I'll be looking to go forward. He said, if she doesn't, I'm not going to be pushing her hard to get there and use up all our gas. So we're going to go into it with an open mind. My own preference is I'd love to see her jump very well so that we could go forward and take a little bit of luck out of the equation. But we are going to go into it with an open mind.
The weather, the track, can she handle a rain-affected track?
Yeah, we've got no concerns over a wet track. She won a trial at Pyroa on a heavy track, and she absolutely bolted in, and she skipped across the ground that day. I know it's only a trial, and race day is different. But she also galloped today at Rosehill on a genuinely slow track. Rod Quinn galloped her, and he got off and said she loved it. He said no issues at all.
Yeah.
So, with rain actually brings us, I think, more into favour because of the draw. If they're coming to the middle of the track and wider, all of a sudden those inside draws become a bit of a headache because you've got to get off the fence and you don't want to run into traffic. So if the track is off and it continues to rain, I think it'll only play into our favour.
Well, I was going to say, I dare say Colin Meads and most of the syndicate will be there?
Yeah, there's 12 owners in the horse, and they're all going to be there. We've got a support crew going of 72. So everyone's bringing their partners. Bruce Marsh and Kay Marsh are flying down from Singapore. Stephen's sister's going to be there. People have got friends and family coming across. There's been fantastic support. I've got some owners of mine in Go Racing who aren't involved in Ruud Awakening, but they're coming across to support. We've got a bus that we've organised Saturday morning. It's going to take us out from the hotel out to the track. We've got tables booked, and it's beyond our control now. So we've got a great group of people going, and we're just going to enjoy the day.
You do that, and on behalf of New Zealand, Albert, to you and the Go Racing team, everybody involved in Ruud Awakening, we wish you all the best, my friend.
Thanks very much, Steve. I hope we can have a conversation in a week's time where we're reflecting on a great day for New Zealand racing.